Dustin Boydell, back in the house, brother. How's it going?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Looked like the boys did a pretty good job of picking things up. Oh, well, hang on a second here. Eric Hunter with a $20 dono. Don't put yourself in the poorhouse, Eric. Another $20 dono. We appreciate it very much, Eric Hunter. You've been actually crazy generous. You're trying to take out the number one sponsor of the show, Dustin Boydell, who's currently on the screen. So how does that make you feel that someone's coming after your job title, Dustin?
You know what? It takes the pressure off of me. I can focus more on hockey analyst duties. And, Eric is there in chat to take care of our loyal followers and loyal subscribers. I mean, good on you seeing 1,800 on the screen is just wild.
Yeah.
When you pulled up that clip of the first ever show you did.
Yeah.
I wasn't far behind for kind of helping you fill in time in the intermissions and stuff. And from time to time, you look back at those first episodes of Rusty and Dusty and us looking at our screens and not looking into the cameras and just how awkward we were with our fill words and just trying to find a flow. But it happened really quickly between the two of us finding a natural chemistry. So it's been a wild ride, and it's only just been one season, and I can't wait for the rest of this season. Thanks again to everyone out there in chat. 250 people watching at the end of the game. Like, it's just incredible what you've been able to build, and I'm happy to be along for the ride.
We always get that little sneak preview, and that's kind of where the first pop-off happened last preseason, and we'll maybe have a look at that one in the next game. But being able to show these games is a huge part because obviously Canucks.com, multi-million-dollar organization, almost $1 billion organization, cannot figure out how to put a stream up that people can find. And so I know the secret. It's called Reddit, and but not everyone's on Reddit. So I will provide that service. Hachiko using his membership message. They're getting the L's out of their system before the season starts. High five. Hachiko, member for 9 months now. Thank you very much, Hachiko, for being a member for 9 months of the channel. Tough Ty Young, coming in middle of the game, and a lot of people were asking about that. Why did Ty Young come in mid-game? And I kind of give the answer, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of trying to get these guys back into game shape. Like, it's not a matter of throwing him to the wolves. He's cold. It doesn't really matter when the goals that are beating him are like guys wide open in front and absolute defensive blunders. Ty Young had no help the second he got into this game. All the goals that beat him were defensive mishaps. I was looking kind of at the breakdowns, and you could see it's not the more veteran guys that are having issues. It was, I think, let me see here. Sawyer Minyo having some issues. Jimmy Schultz and POJ really not clicking together out there, especially in that second period. The Seattle Kraken obviously iced a very NHL veteran-heavy roster. So they should have won this game. For it to be 5-3 and as close it was. I mean, it says a lot that the Canucks came out in the third period and still pushed as hard as they did. A young team, mostly guys destined for the AHL, a couple guys probably going back to junior. But really good stuff out of the fourth line to push and get one there. Oman from Lebate, a nice goal and some pressure late. The power play with the goalie pulled. I was kind of in and out in the second and third periods, just doing dad stuff. But from the stuff I caught, you could see things that were going to be expected in this game. The issues defensively in our own zone. A whole bunch of guys learning new structure. Obviously, the veteran guys are still in Penticton working on drills, working on that system that Foot wants to implement. So really not a huge look into what the Canucks are going to be like this season. This game was really just about getting some young guys a look at pro action, getting a couple young goalies some game time to get back into shape after a summer off, and really just see what they have in some of their youth. And I think a couple of guys really showed out well tonight. That you know, Mancini for one showed he is way above Willander in the depth charts, and really is ready to just start the season in the NHL. And I harped on that all through the Calder Cup finals, that this kid was a man playing with boys. He did not belong in the AHL and was an absolute embarrassment of riches for the Abbotsford Canucks to have him down there for that run and to be running their power play through the playoffs. He was just an absolute dynamite addition to that team for that run. So I absolutely see him being on the big club to start the season. You can see the way he moves the puck with his feet. He's smart. He's quick. He is physical, which we love to see. So Mancini had a really great game tonight. I really liked the game Coots had, and it says a lot that he hasn't been sent back to junior right away. All of those guys, their seasons are starting. So that's why Medvedev was sent down as one of the first cuts. But for Coots to still be up with the team, you did hear when Foote and Alvin and Rutherford were talking that they were already impressed early with some of the young guys from prospect camp and going into regular camp. And I think one of those guys was probably Braden Coots or Brandon Coots. Braden? Brandon?
Braden.
I'm having a brain. Yeah. Sorry, I had a major brain fart there.
Braden,
but yeah,
Hayden, Aiden, Jaden. I don't know.
Right.
Millennials.
I really think he showed well in this game how he slows the game right down as soon as the puck is on his stick. It's almost like it changes speeds instantly. You can see it. He's poised. He doesn't panic. He looks for the open guy, or he gets it to the front of the net. And the second the puck is on the other team's stick, he's busting his butt to get back and looking to be defensively responsible in his own zone. So, really showed that he could keep up well already. So we'll see if he gets a couple more looks in preseason. But the longer he stays with the Canucks and doesn't get sent down to junior, the more it tells me they're taking a serious look at having this kid in the NHL, where they think he may not get the best development going back to junior right now.
I think some people probably won't like this comparison that I'm about to make, but after watching him through training camp and the prospect games and now this preseason game, I'm starting to get Petey vibes, like young Petey from Coots, right? Because Petey, when he first came, like it was the same thing. The agility and the speed that he displayed and the ability to use that speed and agility to slow the game down because people had to respect what his legs could do. That's kind of what I'm seeing from a Braden Coots, who is also talked about as a very good 200-foot center. So all of a sudden, the boy who's got the legs that all the guys from training camp, all the media guys are talking about how good Braden Coots' legs are. I mean, you might not be excited about that comparison right now, but let me tell you, young Petey was an electric player to watch. And if we can see that through this preseason, I think the Vancouver Canucks are going to have a really tough time sending him back down to his junior team.
Oh, 100%. And they talk about the maturity and the leadership qualities similar to Bo Horvat and how he is already, seems like a man in a boy's body. So for all of those things to be said about him, and then for him to show up at his very first NHL training camp and look like he immediately fits in at the NHL level really speaks to, him putting on the show that we, weren't really expecting. We didn't know what to expect because the Canucks sort of went off the board when they picked him. We didn't really know much about him other than the leadership qualities and everything that his WHL coach had to say about him, but absolutely delivering on those promises that we were given as fans.
Yeah, I wanted to go back and quickly chat again about Willander because, and the comparison has been drawn to him and DPD last year because DPD showed a lot of things, and you talked about this a lot last year about DPD is For him, it was the adjustment from the European ice to the North American ice. For Willander, it's the adjustment to playing with guys that are as fast and as talented as he is, if not more. So, and you see those skills. Yeah, he made one amazing play. It was a terrible pass behind him, uses his back skates, kicks it through his own legs, brings it up to his stick, and then in one motion makes a pass as well. So those tiny little moments that you see within the game with a guy like Willander, his ability to push the play, obviously going down and spending some time with Malhotra and that training, that amazing coaching staff down there in Abbotsford, that's pretty much going to be the plan moving forward, I would assume.
I think it's the safest plan with him. As much confidence as the kid has and thinks he is ready to go straight into the NHL, I think a couple of these preseason games will probably humble him quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It won't take much in the video room to show him a couple awful turnovers tonight, and also not really reading the play correctly when it's coming down into the defensive end. But yeah, he shows the brilliant skill that he has. He absolutely shows it when he gets the puck on his stick or when he needs to get out of trouble. The issue is he's not quick enough moving the puck yet at the NHL level, or the pro level rather. Having come out of NCAA where it was, easy for him to get around guys or pass around sticks, and avoid the forechecking forwards at the NCAA level. So, I mean, I would love to see him go down for a month or two and work with Malhotra, because the quick work they did with developing DPD and getting him ready for the pro level of hockey, the skill that Willander possesses is far and above what DPD has. And don't get me wrong, I love DPD and everything he brings to the table, but Wielander's a totally different beast. And I don't think it would take long at all to get him in the right mentality of you have to earn it every shift, every game at the NHL level. And that's what propels you from the college level to the NHL level. And we saw that, way back when with Chris Tanev when he came out of college. And we were like, who's this guy? And he just threw everything he had at every play, took the big hits in the corners, blocked every shot, was an absolute warrior, and laid everything he had on the line every shift. And we were like, who the hell is this kid? And it looked like he was shot out of a cannon. And that's what we need to see from Willander. He needs to go kind of take a month in the AHL, be like, okay, this is what it is. This is the speed. Give me a shot back with the big club and let me see what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there anyone else that you want to see more from over the course of the next 5 games that we see in the preseason?
I really want to see what Carlson is going to do in the preseason this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of his last kick at the can, and I really think it is his shot, given that they have kind of penciled him into Dakota Joshua's role as that front of the net, clean up the garbage goal guy. Can be utilized on the penalty kill, can also be utilized on the second unit power play, maybe even the first line power play if he's doing a good job in front of the net. He really came a long way in the last half of the season with Abbotsford last year, and showed that he's ready to make that leap. And I think a lot of that comes from the coaching of Malhotra and his crew. He turned the farm organization around in one season, and took a lot of guys like Klimovich, Carlson, Baines, some of these guys who were question marks for so long in the last 2-3 years of their development. All of a sudden we now have tons of these guys ready to just burst through the door, and if they take the reins they can run with it. They're all going to be given that chance this year, given the run they had in Abbotsford and bringing that Calder Cup home. And I just really hope that Linus Karlsson and even Max Sasson, guys like that, really just go and run with it. I want to see Aatu Ratu get into some games here. Those are the guys that I'm ready to see in the preseason, to see if they really have stepped their game up a notch and have that hunger after that win to try and achieve that at the NHL level, because those are the guys that are really going to have to show out, because they're all kind of fighting for the same spots. And there's some really good young talent that we saw in this game that is nipping on their heels.
For first game of the year in the preseason where we actually have a 3-star selection in Seattle in a 5-3 win. I know you probably have literally no idea about who you would choose for in this, but I mean, I'll give you the sneak preview is that it is all 3 players are Seattle Kraken.
Shocker.
Yeah. I'll just give them to you because I'm not gonna force you. Like, it's too early in the year.
No, I mean, one of them's probably going to be Neiman because he got 2 goals tonight.
First star, 2 goals. Vince Dunn had 3 assists, so they gave him the second star of the game. And then Capo Caco also had 2 assists. So all multi-point nights for these 3 guys. They all get onto the board. If you were going to give a star, let's say the 3rd star out to a member of the Vancouver Canucks, is there someone who stood out enough that you think they would have been able to dethrone the hometown bias that is the 3-star call in Seattle?
I think probably Mancini was really the standout Canuck for me tonight on that whole team. I think he showed that he's ready to go and showed up for camp in good shape. And I really think he was probably the best Vancouver Canuck on the ice overall tonight from start to finish.
I'll bring this up too for the viewers. So this is the Canucks defense for tonight. So Tom Willander, nothing. So he's 21 minutes played, not bad, right? Clean sheet, I'll take that. P.O. Joseph, -2, had 1 assist. DPD, clean sheet, perfect, because DPD and Willander, they were a pair, so that's perfect. But Minio, -2. Schultz was a -3. So rough night for Jimmy Schultz. He is definitely headed to the AHL. And then Victorio Mancini here did get are they calling that a, oh no, it is a goal. Okay, they did call it a goal. Was a -2. We'll call it a -1 because it was a power play goal, so it still doesn't count. But nice to see Willander and get the even score. But not a surprise to see some of these other defensemen with the minuses when that third period kind of blew up in the second period blew up in the Canucks' faces.
Yeah, and Mancini's -2. I mean, he's the highest minute guy out there tonight, 23 minutes played. So, a lot was leaned on for him, and not necessarily caught out. And he was asked to play with Mignot, and a lot of that was Mignot, not Mancini. Yeah. When you look at the goal visualizers of the one, Mignot gets kind of backed into the front of the net where Mancini's already covered the middle, and Mignot should be pushing back out to the boards and playing the puck, but he's not, and he's not playing aggressive, and he gets caught down low, and that's one of the goals that they get in the second period there. So, overall, a lot of young guys just got beat by an NHL team. I mean, it was kind of what I expected to happen tonight. I would have been shocked if the Canucks pulled off a win. But I did like what I saw from a couple of guys. I would like to see more from others. But I would expect some heavy cuts coming tomorrow after this game.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see. This is a very large roster they're still running with right now with the Vancouver Canucks. The last guy I wanted to touch on before we get going was Jonathan Lekermacki, who showed some really good stuff tonight. But there was a moment where, and it comes down to Niels Hoglander as well, not playing the puck quickly enough behind the net. Puck comes all the way back down the ice, and essentially Lekermacki misses his check because he has to back check harder and get that second man because P.O. Joseph had his man and Lekermacki did not, and that ends up in the back of the Canucks net. Does that kind of thing concern you about Lekermacki, or are we just chalking it up to it's still preseason?
I know which goal you're talking about, and I think I don't think that is as much Lekermacki's fault. If you look at the breakdown on NHL where they have the little numbers that move around, it's actually Schultz who leaves POJ kind of out to the wolves in front of the net there, whereas Joseph should have pushed up to his guy, and Schultz should have backed up to the front of the net a little more. Lekermacki wasn't really in a spot to pick up one of those guys, so it was just a weird play. And I think a lot of that was Schultz just isn't ready for the NHL. He doesn't belong up here. He's going to be sent to Abbotsford probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that too. Dustin, anything else you want to say to chat before I let you go for the night?
Oh, just so happy to be back talking Canucks hockey. Very excited to get Abbotsford Canucks hockey going again as well. I can't wait for the more of the veterans to get on the ice. Happy to see so many familiar names in chat and so many new names in chat. Looking forward to getting to know all of you more as the season goes on. Obviously, preseason doesn't mean a whole lot, but we do get to break down some of the youth, and I'm happy that you're all here listening to us rant about it.
We do have the next game coming up on the 24th, September 24th, Wednesday. Are you around for that game?
I will be around on Wednesday night. Yes, I will be here.
I believe, is that the game they're playing in Abbotsford?
It is. I thought about maybe going to it, but I think I'll stay home and watch it from afar instead.
Yeah. I mean, if you do plan on going, we can always get the Rusty and Dusty show live from the arena too. So let me know what you're doing.
Exactly. They
Either way,
do
we'll
have
hook it up.
Wi-Fi there, so.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Dustin, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on the air for the Rusty and Dusty Sideshow, and we'll talk again on Wednesday, brother.
For sure. Happy to be back, and we will talk to everyone soon.
Nothing is perfect.